Gamma. I'm thrilled that you're all here today, and we're really delighted to partner with Gamma. It's such an important partnership for myself and my entire team. We just think partnership's very important, don't you? I mean, when you really think about it, this whole idea of partnership, we've heard it thematically through all the presentations. And when I think about partnership, I'm reminded of this couple coming back from their 25th wedding anniversary, had a fantastic time at the country club, a wonderful lunch, 25 years of partnership. They were so excited. They're driving back to the country club after this great lunch. And she looks over and said, honey, you better put your seatbelt on. This is a seatbelt state. He said, relax, we're 3 blocks from the house. He no sooner said that, on comes a cruiser light pulling over. Cop's walking up the car. He is fighting to snap that belt, and he snaps it in just as the cop gets up to the window. Cop says, license and registration, do you know why I stopped you? He said, no, sir, I have no idea. He said, I stopped you because you didn't have your seatbelt on. He said, officer, you can plainly see I've got my seatbelt on. You're clearly mistaken. Well, the cop started to get pretty hot. He said, officer, relax, it's my 25th wedding anniversary. We just had a wonderful lunch at the country club. Reason I married this woman, great moral fiber, deep integrity. She would never tell a lie to anybody. You can ask yourself if I had my belt on. Cop said, wow, 25th wedding anniversary. Well, congratulations. I'll give you a pass on it. Ma'am, did he have that seatbelt on? She said, officer, if there's one thing I've learned after 25 years of marriage, it's never to criticize him when he's had way too much to drink. So who you partner with is like a really important idea. And that's how we look at it from our firm. This is the only organization worldwide that we're in full partnership with because we know how important it is. And my hope here is that you have been inspired, you've been informed, and you're ignited about this great industry that we have. We had a seat drop for you. Many of you saw it. I hope you've read through some of the research here when I talk about a great industry. This is real-time research we've done specifically on what's going on in our industry today in the financial services world. As you know, billions of people worldwide. We have many, many people here from 27 countries. Welcome to each and every one of our international partners. But if you really begin to think this through, billions of people worldwide need financial advice. Many people worldwide are very concerned about retirement. And in fact, just in the United States alone, 88% of people said they're very concerned about their ability to retire at some point. And then if you think about life insurance, 95 million Americans, adults, have virtually no life insurance whatsoever. Now, I will just tell you candidly, I shared this with an executive the other day. You know what his comment was? Well, Richard, half the people in this country don't do the right thing for their families. All right, so let's cut the number in half. You good? If 40 million responsible adults don't have enough life insurance for their families, I think this beholds a great opportunity for each and every one of us. Is that a yes? It's massive. And I know there's been a big push to assets under management. There's a big push. I mean, I was with a group recently of life insurance agents. Now, one of the senior agents in the entire operation had sold a life insurance policy. Last year, they focused only on gathering assets under management. I think as a life insurance agent, if you're licensed, we have a moral, we have an ethical responsibility to take care of those individuals in the community. And let me tell you, that's just not my opinion. Because I know the consequences of no life insurance. My mother died when I was 5. My dad died when I was 6. My dad was a journalist. He wrote everything down. I can tell you what he had for lunch. Pick a date in 1943, 44, 45, 46. Doesn't matter. He wrote it down every day. This is what I had for breakfast. Here's what I had for lunch. Here's what I did for dinner. This is what I did. He wrote everything down in his journal. I've gone through every single page. There's not one place he ever wrote down. Met with an insurance agent about life insurance for my kids. And so as a result of that, my mother dying at the age of 5, my dad dying a year and 2 weeks later, I came home. I was sitting on the front couch. He came through the front door, grabbed his heart, fell down, died right there, went right through the coffee table. I ran next door and got the nurse who lived next door to us. We ran back to the house, and he was dead when we got back. But my father had no life insurance. So my brother and my sister and I went into foster care. My brother lived in foster homes. My sister lived in foster homes. I lived in 19 foster homes. I went to 11 different schools. I understand what happens when a family doesn't have life insurance. These kids you've all given scholarships to. I was talking to those two young men backstage. Both of them lost parents. We have a moral and ethical obligation to protect the families of this country, and every single individual who doesn't have life insurance deserves an opportunity to talk to someone in this industry, because the truth of the matter is we have more kids in foster care today, more people underinsured per capita than any other time in our history. And I understand it's great to bring assets under management. We have the great privilege as a consulting firm to work in all three sectors. We work in banking, we work in what you would call advisory with the Merrills and the Morgans and the Wires and the RIAs and all that stuff. And we have a wonderful partnership with Gamma working with insurance industry. And everywhere I go, people always talk about financial planning, financial advice, et cetera. And that's really important. But what's really important is we've got to engage people to do business with us. So when you really think about it, and you really begin to ask yourself, where are we going as an industry? Here's what we have to focus our heads around. What are you going to do? You to inform, to inspire, and to engage people to do business with this great industry. That's the issue. And it all starts with this primary question that people have. Their primary question is, why should I do business with you and your firm? It doesn't matter if it's overt or covert. People in the back of their brain said, why should I do business with you and your firm? And so here's what I'd like you to do. On the seat drop that we did for you, you'll notice if you open it up, there is a place for you to write down some notes and answers. You'll also notice a gift card that I put on the back for you because we want to support you in every way we can. But what I'd like you to do is write down your answer to this question. Very quickly, everybody, you can do this. Why should I do business with you and your firm? Might be a couple of sentences. It might be a couple of words. But if a prospect were to say to you, well, why should I do business with your firm? I mean, why should I even get involved here with you guys? I mean, listen, I got my business already over in another firm. I've already got a couple of life insurance policies. I got a couple of fives and a couple of small ones. So why do I need to do business with you guys? And that's their brain. And they may not ask you the question, but in the back of their mind, even there, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson are sitting there, you're doing this great presentation. In the back of their mind, they're like, I don't know. I don't know, honey. Why are we going to mess with this? Their question is, why should I do business with your firm? And if you're not sitting in front of them, I can assure you that that's the question that's in their mind. So I don't know what you wrote down, but I want you to ask yourself these questions, please. First thing is, does your answer inspire individuals to inquire and engage? Would it inspire you? Think about that for a minute. Look at what you wrote down and said, would that inspire me? Does it inspire them to inquire? Would that make them curious? Also, another question to ask about the answer you wrote down is, does it tell them what you can help them accomplish? I mean, do they really see that, wow, this individual is going to help me accomplish something? Because you see, that's what's going on worldwide today. People don't want to buy anything. They want to solve something. If we want to buy something, we go online and buy it. We go to the store and buy it. The reason people engage in our industry is because they want to have a good sense that they're going to accomplish something. So my question to you was, why should I do business with you and your firm? That was the question. I will tell you that I got my entire senior team here. Terry Kartolarski, our VP of Marketing, Dick Harris, who's one of our senior consultants, Tiffany Markarian, who is also one of our seniors, Deb Nelson, one of our seniors, Tom Close, who's our corporate relationship manager. And as we're in the exhibit hall the last couple of days, we've been doing some polling. We've been walking around talking to many of you saying, hey, if somebody came up and said, why should I do business with you? What would be your answer? And we wrote down a lot of answers. Here's several of them. Well, you should do business with us because we're a strong financial firm. Others of you said, we have a proven track record. Quite a number of you said, we have an excellent team of specialists. Well, this is fantastic. I'm excited for you. And I can't tell you how many years of experience. We were talking last night at dinner. If we added it up, I think we'd go to BC if we added everybody up in this room, how many years we've been in the business. We got several thousand years of experience here. And we heard this a lot. I had two people stop me, in fact, in the hall this morning. He said, Richard, you know, you asked me that question. I've thought about it. We're way ahead of the curve. We're a financial planning firm. Well, let me just say to you in all candor, these are wonderful attributes, and you should be excited about it. You should be proud, and no wonder we walk around in $2,000 and $3,000 suits. After all, we have a proven track record. We have a strong financial firm. We've got a team of specialists. I built something from nothing. I've really driven this business forward. I'm doing a fantastic job. These are wonderful attributes of your firm, and they are. But here's the challenge. With the consumer today, who you are and how you do things is not the answer to why I'm going to do business with you, because it's too much about you. Or as a little 11-year-old girl told me in Knoxville recently, she said, the problem is most people in insurance have eye trouble. It's all about them. My daddy said he doesn't want to buy insurance because he can't find anybody that's all about him and his family. Now, let me just cut to the chase here. Who you are and what you do is not the answer to why should I do business with you. Wonderful attributes, and that's good, but here's what you've got to get your head around. The bottom line is what people want you to do is focus on them. They're interested in them, their point of view, what's important to them. Now, I know there's all kinds of classes. I see these classes, and companies put together all kinds of programs where you're supposed to sit down and craft out your value proposition and how you want to be seen in the marketplace. I can tell you the consumer could care less what I think you should be doing to position yourself. And secondly, they could care less about what you think is how you want to be seen in the marketplace. Because I can tell you, that couple over there in that stucco house, the only thing that matters is what those people in that stucco house think. And you know what they think? They're saying out loud, please connect with me. Please connect with me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Stop talking about you as an industry. Stop talking about the industry. Talk about how it's going to help me solve my problem. We have collected 11,000 interview data points from real live consumers face to face. None of them talk about these attributes. I didn't misspeak. We have over 11,000 first-hand, face-to-face interviews with individuals in the marketplace who are purchasers of financial products, and they've told us point blank why they do business with an advisor or with a firm. And I will take it to the other side of that discussion, which is to think about this, that in all of we've rebranded all kinds of organizations. We're working with the largest bank in Israel right now. We work with a lot of insurance companies, a lot of financial advisors, et cetera. And what the bottom line is, what people tell us, they only relate to their perspective. That's all people are interested in. They're connected to their perspective. Now, you might be sitting here and saying, well, yeah, but, you know, we're doing pretty good. Business is pretty good. But here's what you need to think about. Since 2008, there's been a massive shift in consumer behavior. For years, we had the power. We've had the power. We were the seller. I remember the illustration class. I've been coming to LAMP since 1989. I can remember we used to have breakouts on how to do a better job explaining the illustrations. I mean, you know, illustrations were basically a creative writing course. If you can figure out how to do it on a calculator, you can make the illustration say anything you wanted. People were signing up. Of course, the fines came later, but it was fantastic. Because we were the seller, we had all the power. You couldn't go on the internet. Poor Al Gore invented it, we invented it, we were all in trouble. The bottom line is, what happened? Man, the bottom line is we were the seller, we had all the power. But you know what? It started to shift, and we saw it in 2006. And I'll tell you when I saw it. We were working with a luxury good manufacturer, and he sat down, the advertising agency, big meeting, and they had their brand ambassador sitting in that ballroom at the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, Florida. And what they decided to do was roll out their whole campaign. Here's how we're going to introduce the new cars. Here are the features we're going to talk about. Here are the attributes. And this brand ambassador sat there for about 45 minutes. He finally pulled off his glasses and he wiped his brow. Let me tell you something. We could care less what you think. Nobody's going to respond to these ad campaigns, this marketing approach. They're not even going to respond to these new vehicles until you start thinking like we, the purchaser, think. Until you start to understand that you have to communicate from our perspective. That was in '06, and I had a sense something was shifting, so we began to focus on this. And what happened by 2008? All the power's gone to the buyer. They've got all the power. All of it. And this constant focus on our attributes is what turns clients and prospects, they feel very, very disconnected. They feel like, how come when I ask an advisor, why should I do business with you? All they want to talk about is themselves. When I look at marketing and ad campaigns and product collateral and all the things that they present to me, it's all about the firm or the advisor or their years of experience, etc. Why can't they tell me what it's going to do for me? And this isn't just whiff 'em. You know, people say, oh, that's just what's in it for me. It's far bigger than that. I told you we have interviewed and collected over 11,000 firsthand kneecap to kneecap interview points from clients that we have rebranded, both in advisory, insurance companies, agents, et cetera, to reposition them in the marketplace. Let me show you why people are saying they do business with an advisor or an agency just like yours. Now, I'm not going to give you 11,000 data points. I stand between you and a cold sandwich. This was pretty revealing. This is a 28-year veteran who told me the reason people were doing business with him and with individuals is because they were experienced. The first question in our branding process that he put his client through, you know, she said, oh, no, it's not about your experience. You helped me grow and protect my money. That was a bit of a shock to him. He was sure it's because he was experienced. Another young lady interviewing her clients in the property and casualty world, one of her best clients said, well, the reason I'm doing business with you is because you clearly safeguard my kid's future. Others have said, and we hear this a lot, because you are making sure our family makes good financial decisions. Would those answers look different than what you wrote down? The real issue is, what will you do to inspire more prospects to engage with your firm and your advisors? That's what we have to do. More people underinsured than ever before. People dying today without enough insurance. We had 2 examples on stage. Tim talked about 2 that they had at the home office at Thread, but there are people all over this country who are in similar situations. And the bottom line is this: the only way we can inspire people today, given the massive shift in power that's occurred, where the buyer has all the power, what we have to do is make a clearly stated upfront promise of the outcomes that they seek. That's what people want to know. Why should I do business with you? We should state an outcome. If it safeguards your financial future, if it's taking a personal interest, etc., whatever that is. Now, you might be sitting here and say, well, why is this so important? Because information is ubiquitous. What you think about that? We had sales intelligence experts up here today. They were showing you stuff on the internet. Wasn't it interesting? You type in anything and find almost anything. We used to freak out about CNBC and MSNBC, but today it's even bigger than that. You read the paper, you go online, you go to a party, you ask an opinion, information is everywhere. And as a result of that, everybody in our industry looks pretty much the... Type in financial plan when you get to your room tonight. Look at the fact there are hundreds and thousands of links you could click on and get a financial plan. There are even some websites that say, send us your statements, we will craft a financial plan just for you. It's not important whether it's a good one or not. The bottom line is, people today know they can go anywhere to get information, so why would they do business with you? So when I was writing my last book, I decided to really pursue this and see if I was just thinking about this, if we had some antidote, or if it was the truth. So here is a whole series of firms, some we worked with, some we didn't, that have broken out since 2008 and have changed their industry, their breakout, their bottom line in many cases. Here's the first one. We all see that, FedEx, when you absolutely positively need it there overnight. That's pretty straightforward. Who uses FedEx? Everybody that wants to get it there overnight. And how about Target when they rebranded in 2008 with expect more and pay less? Isn't it interesting, by the way, to note that once they had all the credit card problems last year, they didn't change their brand promise. They fired the CEO and brought somebody else in who could continue to deliver on this. We all forget, by the way, that Target was going out of business until they rebranded and repositioned themselves in the marketplace. And now it's like a cult, Target. And I heard we're in a recession. Did anybody else see that in the paper? I saw lots of homes foreclosed on. People put their furniture on the curb. That's an amazing thing to me, even in nice neighborhoods. Which is why referrals have flatlined. I'm on the U.S. Luxury Board. I can tell you Gucci, Pucci, Fendi, we're all concerned about what we call friend shopping. Why? Because people don't bring their girlfriends anymore because they're not sure of their financial status. Another topic for another time, but that's a wake-up call for us as an industry. When you keep asking for referrals without doing research on who you want to get introduced to, it crushes the referral flow. That's why we teach advisors how to research, and so doing, we're averaging 4 to 6 introductions on every single time we ask because we're asking of the right people. But I digress. You look at Lazy Boy Furniture, it's amazing what they've done. Their brand promises live life comfortably. When I talked to the CEO, I said, how did you come up with this? He said, oh, Richard, gosh, I talked to my senior staff. I gathered them in the boardroom. We're in a recession. Why do you think people buy our Lazy Boy? Oh, they got great recliners, lifetime guarantee, wonderful fabrics, dual coil springs. He said, I sat there and listened to it, and I said, I don't think it's any of those reasons. He said, so I went down to the customer service center and started calling people back and say, hi, why did you buy a Lazy Boy? And overwhelmingly, they said, well, they're really nice rockers and they're good recliners. And then his question was, well, why is that important to you? And you know what they started to say? Because we want to live life comfortably. Things are tough now. So he hired Brooke Shields and put her on a Lazy Boy. You've seen the edge. Pinch me. Oh, don't pinch me. I'm living life comfortably. Guys, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And how about this grandkid? Took over this little freight company. I mean, I used Syria's Old Dominion Freight Company. It was a little blip out in Virginia with 3 terminals. And he went out and started talking to his clients. Why do you use us? Well, you got good trucks, you track our deliveries, et cetera. He said, well, that sounds fantastic. But why is that so important to you? They said, because we've got promises we've made to people that we're going to have the deliveries there on time. And you're helping us keep our promises. Now they got 31 terminals, and I heard we were in a recession. It was interesting to me this morning, first thing when I turned on the news, which I do every morning about 4:30 when I get up, the first ad was Old Dominion Freight Line. So I thought maybe I'd insert them in this presentation, seeing how they're spending millions to let us know they help manufacturers keep their promises. The 2 IGA executives I asked down in the hallway, I asked them about that. How important is Old Dominion? They said, it's very important. We use them throughout the entire central United States. Why? Because they always get the deliveries there on time. And how about our industry? American National Property and Casualty, a tri-line company. We worked with them, just full transparency. 2008, Greg Ostrigan called me. He said, 2007, he said, things are changing. You see it, I see it, let's talk. I met with him for a day, and we went out and interviewed hundreds of their individual customers to find out why they were really doing business with this company. And you know what? It wasn't the low rates. Greg didn't want to join the race to the bottom on pricing and freeze. So the bottom line is, what is their brand promise? We take a personal interest in protecting what you value most. That inspires people to connect with them. Others, U.S. Wealth Management, many of you read a little tiny RIA up in New England, tremendous growth. We had a privilege of working with them. We just launched this new division of Morgan Stanley. It's only for pro sports and pro, shall we say, celebrity entertainers. You got to have an Oscar basically to work in this space. They're up over $4 billion. Why? Because what do pro athletes, what do celebrities want to do that have a lot of money? They want to do more for their families. They want to be more in their, shall we say, circle of influence. And here's another one, Bank Leumi, largest bank in Israel. They told me for sure it's because they loan money at competitive rates. Of all those interviews, first-hand interviews, kneecap to kneecap, 18 questions we asked clients, none of them said anything about the loan values or returns on investment. What they talked about is shared values. So the point is, where do you go from here? Let me just encourage you on this point. Please, I even put it in the seat drop. I know some of you are like, that's bro, throw it on the floor. Pick it up and look at the inside. I took you step by step through it. I even gave you the questions. Our senior team has worked with hundreds of firms to help them get it right. We just want to plant this in your life, in your business, so you know where to go. Interview a true sample of your best clients so you can discover why they truly do business with you. Why? Now, I don't know why they are. But you know the truth? You don't know either. But I will tell you, when you interview your best clients, and if they say you help them grow and protect their wealth or their money, or they say you help them safeguard their future, or if they say you help them make good decisions, then the summary on this point is simply this: take that position in the marketplace. Own it and promote it. Don't misunderstand positioning. IGA, when you walk into a grocery store, it's called a 3.5-foot window. You walk down the aisle, every single manufacturer, distributor pays to be in the 3.5-foot window on the aisle, because we don't like, where's the coffee here? We look in the 3.5 feet. Because they understand the power of position. You want to be on the end cap and sell bounty towels? You pay for that end cap. Hershey's got a huge display over here with IGA. I don't know if you've walked through. And what do they always pay for? When you're checking out, it's called the impulse buy. People are going to pick up candy and mints and other things at the counter. They pay for that because they understand the power of position. As an industry, we have missed this. We thought it was thunder. No, it was a shift in consumer behavior. And what we do is promote, promote, promote all the time. And I will just tell you, we're better than this. The more you promote with no position, the more I'm convinced you're just trying to sell me something. And we can fix this. So if a client says to you, why should I do business with you? Now, after you've talked to your clients, you can say, our clients say we help them grow and protect their wealth. Think about your advisors instead of using an elevator speech. I mean, who thinks this stuff up? I mean, seriously? When's the last time your advisor got on the floor, an agent, got on the lobby, wrote up 19 stories, and wrote the app at 19th floor? Said, okay, we're good to go here. It doesn't happen. So what do you do? Well, I'm a health advisor at ABC Financial, and I help individuals like you to manage your money and sell your life insurance. Would you like to make an appointment? What do people say? I got to go find my wife. And they're not even married. I mean, does a heart surgeon do that? Does a heart surgeon say, hey, I'm a heart surgeon? Really? Yeah, I'll reach in there, snatch that puppy out, polish it up, snap it back in, give you another 35 years. Would you like to make an appointment? So why should I do business with you? Because my clients say we help them grow and protect their wealth. My clients say I help them navigate complex financial decisions. Every single individual in this audience can change the perception of the industry by the consumer by focusing on them. The automotive industry, which was the worst in the world, is now way up in rankings because they realize now the automotive industry is trying to speak their language. We need to catch up and surpass them. When people say, why should I do business with you? Now, the second point I'd like to talk to you about today is simply this. What do clients and prospects think about the information you deliver? Well, we again, 3,300 face-to-face data collection points. And here's what they said they want. Just tell my agent, tell my advisor, I just want information I can understand. Which just seems like a pretty basic idea. So let's look at the lexicon. Here's a lexicon in the industry. We have tax-free cash buildup, and the other good news about this has the ability to be converted easily. And I'll tell you the other great thing about this policy, you're absolutely going to love it. It's our most popular policy. And it's backed by a great company. And the really good news for you, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, is this baby has GPO, CDSC, UVL, and a good ROI. It's got a double wrap to an ROE. You're going to find it fantastic because it goes to the wrap account, comes over to 401k, doesn't spit out. On the backside, it's tax-free, rolls up into your Social Security. If you do it before 59.5, you get a payout. If you wait till you're 70, you get more payout. You can fund your life insurance. This is fantastic. $3,300 people said we're confused. So my question, what are you going to do about it? Let's tell the truth, there's a massive, massive understanding gap out there. The buyer's on one side, that's us. And the seller, that's you. And people don't get it. They don't understand how the dots connect because they don't understand the application. Don't ever forget, information without application is paralyzing. If I don't understand how this moves forward with me, I can't get there. The question every single prospect in this country, every client has is this: how does this solve my problem? You may have GPS on the CO 401k, and it's got a wonderful policy, it's backed by, and you're getting great returns, you can put me in tax-free, you're gonna put me in munis, et cetera. But the question is, are you gonna solve my problem? So we ask people in the marketplace, consumers, how can we as an industry, as a consulting firm that supports this industry, how can we help you as a consumer understand what we sell, what we do, what we market, what we do for you? You know what they said? Could you just clarify the application by telling us what this means to us, please? Could you just sort of like get there with that idea? And I said, okay, great, so what do you tell me? I said, we don't care about features and benefits. We want to know about application. And after you've got the application clear, could you just follow that with the benefits so we really understand how it applies? So in our interviews, we decided to do that. Here's what we did. We gave them a whole series of different attributes, and we asked them to complete the sentences for us. You might find these interesting. We said, if we create a financial plan for you, what would you say that means to you? And they said, well, what an advisor should say is, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, we create a financial plan for you, that's great. But let me tell you what this means to you, is we're able to organize all of your financial life. Because we don't care about a financial plan. What we want to know is, can you organize my financial life for me, please? And the other thing they want to know is, then make the benefit clear. Don't leave it up to us. Because don't forget, we're confused. So instead of saying we create a financial plan, they're saying to us, and what this means to you, is we're able to organize all of your, shall we say, financial life. And the benefit to you is you're able to be free to pursue your life passions. So I want you to ask yourself this question. How many have ever said, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, we have years of experience? How do you answer this question? Do you tell them what that means to me? Or is it all about me? I got years of experience. We did a focus group for a firm, and the first advisor said, I've got years of experience. So he left. I said, what does that mean to you? Well, he's probably been ripping people off for years. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Let's go ahead and sign up for some of that. Then the advisor, when I talked, he said, well, I didn't mean to say that. What I meant to tell you, I have years of experience helping people solve their problem. Okay, so maybe you ought to bring that up. I mean, all I'm saying is, folks, if this is what they want, it'd be like good if you brought it up. It might collapse the sales cycle, and it might convert more business, and it would certainly keep us from going into production slumps if we were closing more business by engaging people with a promise and then sitting down and really telling them the application of that which it is that we bring. And as they said to us when we brought this up, consumers, 3,300 said, the bottom line is, if you have years of experience and what this means to you and you provide answers, we'll have the confidence to know that we're making an informed financial decision. And that's what they want. And I'll give you one more. A lot of us talk about a wide range of products and services, and this is fantastic. But how would you answer this question? Every guy and gal in this room could say that statement. We have a wide range of products and services. Agreed? We don't care. As a matter of fact, we're not even remotely interested. In fact, we're pretty sure you're just selling us stuff to make more money. I'm pretty sure of that. And we're confused. So why don't we answer the question? What does it mean to them? How would you answer that? Well, we asked them. Here's what they said. Well, if they've got a wide range of products and services, that probably means we'd have access to the resources we need. I'm just saying, if that's what they think, I suppose we ought to bring it up. And I said, well, what does that really mean? Well, the bottom line is our life's going to change. I'm inheriting money, and they can meet my needs even as they change. Just remember this, folks. by clarifying what it means to them and the benefit to them. These are not Richard Weylman's words. It's not my senior team's word. These are first-hand, kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball collection points from 3,300 collection points of how people see our industry and how they'd like us to communicate it. I think we all should sign up. Would you agree? Why can't we communicate the value to them? That's why they're withdrawn. We talk about us to engage them, and then we talk about how great the product line is to try to sell them, and all they want to do is solve a problem. And I will tell you that industry speak, jargon, and acronyms paralyzes decision making. They're paralyzed. They don't know what to do. The sales cycle is the longest it's ever been in this industry, 6 to 8 impressions. We can get back to 2 to 3 to 4 if we will communicate from their point of view. It goes right back to the idea, what does that couple in the stucco house think? What do those prospects think? You know what they think? I want to engage with somebody that's focused on me. I'm going to engage with somebody that can make it crystal clear to me. That's who I want to do business with because I know they got my best interest at heart. We do programs on how to be trusted. In fact, I was just at a conference in San Diego. The chief marketing officer gets up and said, I want to tell everybody in the room before I introduce Richard how you can be trusted on the very first sales call. You ought to write this down. Everybody's like, oh, get this. So when you sit down with somebody for the first time, you look them straight in the eye and you tell them, the last thing I'd ever do is rip you off. People are writing it down. I'm sitting backstage thinking, it's the last thing. Nice to know it's still on the list. You know what I mean. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, we got an hour and 10 minutes. You're running long. I'm going to rip you off and get you out of here because I got one in the lobby. I mean, who thinks this stuff up? We need to be sitting in front of our clients and ask them, why do you do business with us? Why is that important? We need to get away from this industry speaking, this jargon, a double down rollover pop-up theory that kicks off to a 401k and comes back into a drip account and it's wrapped around and it delivers a check to your door unless you're 59 and a half and then you should wait till 65. But Obama's changed Social Security, so you probably ought to wait till 70. I mean, good Lord, where do you go from here? Simple. We even put it up on it's right there on the seat drop again. I'll bring it to your attention. I did this for you. I even gave you all the free resources. Just go to the website, click on the link, and it's free. Just have it. Take it. Just take it and use it. Use it. We're dying out here. We're dying. And we're desperate. And we need you. And you're making it too hard for us. You all sound the same, look the same, act the same, and think that somehow sets you apart. The client's doing business with your firm. You are to own a distinct position. You need to calculate and connect to it. We have got to leave this conference working on purpose and not pressure. Bottom line is your next step when you leave this place is ignition. Yeah, how do you inspire the consumer? Let's use a brand. Every single agent, every single agency, every single company in this room, you need to get yourself repositioned and start branding yourself, not based on what you think, but what those prospects in that stucco house think. We need to get out there and interview your top 15, 20. When I worked with Greg Ostergen, we interviewed over 100 individuals from American National Property and Casualty. And we were shocked about why they were doing business because we were sure it was price, and it wasn't price. It was they took a personal interest in protecting what we value most. How great is that as an agent when somebody asks you, so what do you do? Well, I work for American National Property and Casualty, and what our clients say we do is take a personal interest in protecting what they value most. What do you think people say? Really, how do you do that? Which is the same as, how soon can you back your truck up and unload everything you got in my house? And there are people saying, oh, well, it's all good, but I don't need to worry about it. Look, forget about me. This train left the station. This shift happened in 8. That's why I wrote the book I wrote on the power of why, breaking out in a competitive marketplace. The reason it's been on the CEO bestsellers list, you know why? Because people that are thinking strategically realize, guess what? Something's going on here. I'm losing my bearings. So your next step is ignition. But I'll tell you the truth, it takes courage to make change. You know this, I know this, we know this. And what is courage? I was invited to a secret SAC base in northern Japan. They had a big banner just like this that said, courage is seeing the goal of victory in the presence of defeat. gosh, it hung right there. I pulled out my camera, and the lieutenant said, whoa, 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 whoa. Won't be taking any pictures. Remember, this took a top secret clearance. That means you don't take pictures. I said, could I write it down? The bottom line is, courage is seeing the goal of victory in the presence of defeat hung across that hangar in this wonderful base in northern Japan. What a privilege it was to be there. I'll be back in Asia. For those of you at Gamma, Asia, many of us, Ethan, Ed's going to be there. Several of us are going to be with you at the Gamma Conference for Asia in July. I encourage you to come because the bottom line is it's a wonderful opportunity to share with each other. And you'll be able to make some additional changes. But for every one of us in this room, we have got to recognize we've had a lot of defeats. We've had tax changes. We have regulation changes. We got the regulators all over us. I got a firm right now. They got 5 regulators been in the office for 2 years trying to find out what's wrong with this company. They haven't found anything wrong, but I can assure you they're going to find something wrong to get paid for their time. And we know that retention has been terrible in this industry and continues to be. You've had a lot of defeats. Let's just tell the truth. We talk to people in the exhibit, how's it going? Great! Really? Life insurance sales are down, income is down, people are, marketing numbers are down, people are pushing people, retention is about the lowest level it's ever been. Sounds fantastic. I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. Let me tell you, because of all these defeats, you end up with 2 sets of goals. I see these all the time. So does my team. A lot of us in this room have goals that we're aiming for. We talk about it ad nauseum. Oh, yeah, what's your goal? Oh, I'm going to be up 20% this year. We're going to be 18%. Oh, we're going to recruit a bunch of people. Yeah, but then we have another set of goals, and that's a set that we're going to settle for. And I hear this all the time. You know, we got a big goal this year, Richard, but if we don't quite make it, I'll be happy if we get. I just had this conversation with an individual on the West Coast. Had the privilege of, we were out there speaking, I was launching our online university, and we talked about this very topic, and he said, yeah, we're really looking for 20% growth, but you know, I'll be happy if we get 14. Well, let me tell you something, what becomes pregnant in your imagination almost always becomes reality. And then what happens is advisors adopt that exact same thinking. And most advisors hold their businesses too small. They don't see the opportunity. They're making a great living. They're making a great life. They really feel like they're moving along. Things are fantastic. But the truth is they miss the moral and ethical obligation we have to really help people buy life insurance and get their financial house in order. It's not how much money you make. It's how much difference we make. The legendary leaders that have been in the head of Gamma all these years, every single one of them, when they've stood on a stage, have never talked about how much money they make. Always talk about the difference they make. I talk to these lot managers we're having the privilege of working with, these new leaders coming along. Every one of us talks about the guy or gal that was in leadership that made an impact in their life. They didn't do it so they could make more money. They did it so they can make a difference. We need to instill that into our advisors and our agents as well. It's not how much money you make, it's how much difference you make. This industry pays a tremendous amount of money for an advisor to bring in assets and not sell that client life insurance, as far as I'm concerned, is immoral. That individual's going to die and the money's going away. That individual's going to die and the money's going away. But the reason they don't is because it's changed so much, they don't even know how to communicate the value of it. And when we talk about retention, I'll tell you, I just did a TED Talk for you this morning. I don't know when it'll play, but not before too long. Can you see this? May I turn around? I'll turn my back to you for just a moment. The bottom line is, here's the industry. We bring in a new person, we focus on what? Sales skills. Then we walk on product knowledge. Then we get in practice management. We start them here. Let me tell you, these millennials you're bringing in, they're not starting here. They don't care about the fact you worked 17 hours a day. They're not interested in the fact you made a good living. They're not interested they're going to make a good life. That is not how they're wired. We've studied millennials, Ys, Xers. We did a whole report on it. The bottom line is you've got to uncover their life and professional goals. They have lifestyle goals. You get people to understand these goals, it changes the game. Why? Because they're working on purpose, not pressure. I'll just tell you now, I won't mention a firm, but we're working with a firm that's represented very highly here. Tiffany McCarran and myself were there speaking on Friday. We worked with them last year on this very topic, helping everybody they recruited identify the life goals and make sure they had a marketing focus recruited from a market. I'm talking about not people coming out of other firms, brand new people to this industry, the classic way of recruiting. Their best recruiting year from their top people was 1 out of 4 made it in the industry prior to last year. Now their top guys, their top gals that are recruiting, 3 out of 4 hit their milestones last year they recruited. Why? Because these kids are all focused on achieving their goals. With all due respect, they could care less what your goals are. And even the guys and gals that are not good recruiters, and some of us aren't, let's tell the truth. Corporate leaders, get that straight. You can't use a warm blanket for everybody. Some people need help, some don't, but the point is we can work with one another. But even those individuals who are going along getting 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 to make it, they jumped up 2/3 of the people they recruited because they focused on markets to recruit them from, and they work with them to identify their life goals. 2/3 of those people in that same company made it, and they recruited over 275 people who made it in the industry. Let me tell you something. We get to the point that every one of us in this room start working on this. I can tell you, if we add several hundred people to every single one of our companies every year for the next 5 years, it's going to reinvigorate this industry. Could I get a yes? So 3 of you agree. This is fantastic. I'll just close with this thought. If you're going to lead people forward, you need to be focused on their future. You know, I was living in foster homes. One of my jobs was taking the trash out. And they had like, asphalt driveways. And I'd push the trash, tear, and dump. Wrestle that big old cast iron trash can a little further and trash and dump. Because they had those little skinny handles on and I couldn't pick it up. And they kept dumping and dumping and dumping all the time. And then one day it dawned on me, if I could just get in front of it, this sucker wouldn't dig in the driveway and it would follow me all the way to the curb. And it's the same way with your people. You keep pushing in production, they're going to dump on you repeatedly. And they're going to fire you and go somewhere else. You want to lead people forward, focus on their future. I got a young man in Honolulu, Hawaii, where I have a home. Nash Shabbatic. We started a little scratch agency. He said, Richard, what do we need to do? Get them focused on their life skills. He has condo day. In other words, the new people come in, they want to buy a condo someday. Well, once a month he goes condo shopping with them. It's all the realtors get together and they go visit new condos. And people go, oh my God, this is fantastic. I mean, how hard do I have to work, Nash, to have one of these? And someone want to buy a new car, so he goes to New Car Day, J&R Automotive. That new car smell, that's invigorating for some people. He takes the ladies in his agency to Neiman Marcus fashion show twice a year. Oh, how do I look? How much have I got to sell to get this, honey? When I was in the Rolls-Royce business, I built the 3rd largest Rolls-Royce dealership network in the world. Do you know how I did it? I mirrored our showroom. Oh my God, the division manager committee said, what do you mind? We don't mirror, people want privacy. I said, no, they don't. We sold over 10% of the allocation for the whole country in that one showroom. You know why? Because people come in and sit down in the car and go, oh gosh, this is really pretty. What do you think, hon? I think it's pretty too. How do I look? They didn't care about the grill. They didn't care about the service. All I wanted to know was, how do I look? Does it look good on me? Did I get this one? Listen, motivation is from within. Connect with these kids. Help them have a future. These millennials want to know you're on their side. They ain't going to work your hours. They're not going to do hunt and peck like we all did and spend most of our day trying to compute. They're just going to go on the app. Ding, 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 done. So here's the question in summary. Because again, I don't want to keep you from that cold sandwich. But I guess in summary, would you answer this question differently now? Could I have a yes or a no? Listen, folks, you get on our side of the table, the buyer side of the table, people are going to beat a door path to your door. And if you really believe this, we come to these meetings, oh, I'm good to go. Then we go back and we get caught up in the frantic because we do the duck and dodge, creative avoidance. Well, I'll get on this, but we're going out Saturday night. This is Tuesday. I need to get the car washed. And we take a break. Hey, Martha, did you get the mail? I'll get the mail. Don't worry, I'm going out for lunch. Anybody need? Because we practice creative avoidance. So the bottom line is, what's your plan for the next 90 days? That's all that matters. And at a minimum, your plan should include this: crafting a value promise that inspires prospects and clients to engage. You say, where am I going to get a 90-day plan? Go to the seat brochure and download it. It's there free. Communicate the information so the prospects clearly understand what you can do for them and its application to them. And ignite your team by focusing on what they want. Because with all due respect, those people in the stucco house, they could care less what you want. All they want to know is, can you solve my problem? Can you figure all this stuff out and make it clear to me? And if you do that, it makes all the difference in the world. So the reality is, on our business, we're making the resources available to you. There's it is right on your screen. But let me just close with this thought. Think about what you're doing to retain these clients and these advisors. I'll give you a 30-second point. I'm invited to speak by Merrill Lynch in Charleston, South Carolina. Stay at the Charleston Place Hotel, next door to which is the Charleston Place Grill. This is the only 4-star restaurant in the great state of South Carolina. My wife is French-Canadian. She loves to cook. I have to go on the road to lose weight. It's fantastic. The bottom line is, she sees it on my schedule. Oh my God, honey, the Charleston Place. Oh my God, honey. I said, okay, go with me. So we go. We make the reservation, 4, 5, 6 weeks ahead of time. We go into the restaurant. It was fantastic. We go in, a little 32 tables. We sit down. My wife's like, we're going to have these 4 appetizers, and I want these 6 entrees, and I want to get the chef. And I said, honey, it's just the 2 of us. She said, but I want to sample this. I mean, this guy's got an amazing reputation. And she tells the waiter, he said, oh, yes, he got your email. He's dying to meet you. I'm thinking, I've been set up. Anyhow, so the chef comes out, and they're sitting. And he said, Mrs. Weylman, you have to try this. And bring... Well, it was amazing. We had food everywhere. I mean, it was like Thanksgiving. It was fantastic. They talked and I ate. I mean, she's French-Canadian, he's French. I don't know what they were talking about, but the food was fabulous. So anyway, we get to the end of dinner, and now we get the check. This too was fabulous. I took one look at that, and I was like, seriously, honey? I'd call this a once-in-a-lifetime event. She said, okay, but it was really wonderful. And Marco, it was so great. Oh, my hands. I said, okay, relax. We're good here. We're good. We're here for 4 days, but this is a one-timer. We're going out the door. Young lady standing at the head stand there, the maitre d', she steps. Oh, not so fast, you two. Mr. and Mrs. Weylman, did you have a wonderful dinner? Oh, my God, it was amazing. Unlike Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's good. I'm trying to make it back to the room. So she said, not so fast, you two. She said, we have a little gift for you like we have for all of our guests. Not customers. She said, here you go. She hands it to she said, here are 2 loaves of fresh breakfast bread just to make it easy for you in the morning. At this point, these became the Hope Diamond. We take them back to the hotel, put them up on the counter in a safe place. My wife puts a towel over them. This is the South. Something could happen during the night, honey. I said, do you want me to get a nightlight? No, I think they're safe. Okay, this is great. So we get up the next morning, we're having our Starbucks, or as I call it, $5. She loves it. With her Starbucks, we're eating our fresh breakfast breads. My wife said, oh, gosh, honey, we got to get back here really soon. And I said, honey, that was $680 for 2 loaves of bread. And then it dawned on me. This guy wanted to make sure the last taste of my mouth wasn't the check that I wrote. It was those fresh breakfast breads. We've been back 3 times. So what taste are you leaving in my mouth when I buy that life insurance policy? When I buy that annuity, when I make that retirement contribution? Last thing, I never hear from you again? Are you sending special notes on special days? Are you calling your widows on the day that their husbands died? Are you sending Valentine's Day cards on Valentine's Day? Are you sending a dozen red roses to them? What are you doing to elevate the client experience? Because a satisfied client is loyalty neutral. Another topic for another time. But what you want to do is take every one of our best clients and turn them into delighted advocates and get our promise right, communicate from their perspective, and they'll spread the word. And we're going to shrink the number of people that are uninsured in this country. And the bottom line is, it's not that we're going to make more money. It's we're going to give a lot of kids and a lot of families and a lot of advisors a better life. God bless you, each and every one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.